먹게 모퉁이에 baby bird and mama bird 아련히 봤지만
So over the years, I've taught a lot of workshops and classes, and I can't tell you how many times I've heard people tell me that they can't draw or they can't draw a straight line and that sort of thing, or they can't get better. But I want to tell you concerning myself, I've drawn my whole life. That's a long time at this point. And over the years, of course, I have no memory of not drawing. But over the years, I have developed a relationship with my mind and my eyes and this hand, learning how to draw to as much detail as possible. However, this hand cannot draw. It's the same with when you print your name, or if you write in cursive, if you were taught to write in cursive, because I know I've heard that they don't teach that as much in school anymore. Not sure if that's true. But you know how to do that because you learned that skill at a very early age. But you couldn't write with your opposite hand, most likely, unless you're ambidextrous. You know what I mean? Both hands can write. I know that this hand can draw, but this hand cannot. And I could demonstrate that to you. However, I do believe, because I know the relationship I have with this specific hand and the hand-eye coordination that I've developed throughout my whole life, that I could teach this hand how to draw as well. And I believe that's true for you as well. Recently, I spoke to an expert in the field who has read a lot of research and did a lot of research considering childhood development. And she said that up until about the age of 12, kids develop their drawing skills pretty equally. But somewhere after that time period, you begin to see a division occur. I said to her, I thought, that's probably because we start judging ourselves so much. When we're young, we don't care. We don't care about creating, about what it looks like, what anybody else thinks it looks like. We're just playing for the act of playing, for the act of creating, and trying to draw a visual story. And you are so carefree at that point that you don't have those concerns. But then you start to feel like you have your own self-judgment starting to develop, looking and comparing yourself to other people starts happening. And then I think I could see people starting to believe the fact that I can't draw or I'm not good enough. All those things start taunt us. And I feel that we can find our way past that. I think that there is the truth about the fact that we tend to either be right-brained or left-brained just in who we are as people. I know myself, I am a very visually driven person. I communicate visually. I'm moved visually. I love looking at images. I admire left-brain people so much. I love science, to be honest. I love watching science shows and astronomy and physics, and I find it fascinating. But don't ask me to do a math problem. So there is that. There is that aspect to who we are as people. Now, I think that possibly if you are more of a visual person, you might be drawn to draw, to depict things visually with your hands. Once you realize you can hold a pencil and you can start to do things and maybe it starts to look like something. So, yeah, that might propel people forward. But I feel as an adult, we can employ what I call are the TARP principles. And the first rule, which is my strength, it's tenacity. I am a tenacious human being. I always have been. And it has not always served me, but it's certainly got me propelled forward in life in difficult situations. When I was in college, they tried to make me wait an extra year, but I went the extra mile and begged and showed up like the professor asked me to see if I could find a space in the class. And I did, and then I got in that year. So things like that. I have always been tenacious, and if I want something, I will do my best to do the work to try to get what I want. And that leads into my second principle, which is attitude. Now, I'm not saying that every day is going to be a perfect day. To be honest with you, there are actually days, even now, where I will think I'm going to do something. And I'll get all my materials together and I'll start drawing or painting or whatever. And it's like, it's not working. The universe is not aligned. Something's wrong. My chakras are misaligned. Kidding. Whatever's off is off, and I just gotta stop. Now with this sketchbook challenge that I'm working on, if you've been following me, I'm doing the 30, 60, 90 day sketchbook challenge. And just for a quick recap on that, what that means is for 30, 60, 90 days for each of those markers or milestones, I get a reward, and that propels me forward through my sketchbook challenge until the 90th day to set forth a strong habit to draw every day or to draw a lot. And the reason why I felt like I had to do that was because I work full time. It's easy when you work full time and you have other responsibilities, family, chores, keeping up with the house, groceries, all those things. How in the world do you also come home and draw? Well, that is what I do, not for my job, not for my full-time job, but that's who I am as a person, so I have to do it. So that's why that challenge was important to me. However, I have to have an attitude to get myself to move forward on that and to do it. And I feel the same thing's true if you really want to draw. If you really want to draw, you got to get the right attitude. You got to find a way to get yourself in the right mindset. I don't know if you need to light a candle, take yourself a bubble bath before you go draw, whatever it is, light some incense. I'm not sure. Get yourself a comfy spot. That actually I do believe in. I do believe in having a place where you feel comfortable creating is really important. Even if it's just a chair, a corner of your room, your bed, a quiet place, I'm prepared pretty much at any given moment. And that's what I feel like is important for you to do too, if that's what you want to do. If you really want to improve your drawing skills or you just want to learn to draw, it's all about being prepared and getting yourself in the right attitude. The third principle is repetition. Doing it again and again and again. Even when you fall, even when you fail, even when you don't like what you've done, I feel that you just need to brush yourself off and get back on the horse. It's just an act of continuing to try. And of course you need to decide what it is that you really want to do. Do you want to draw super accurately? Do you want to be able to do a portrait? Because if you want to be able to do a portrait, trust me, I can show you how to do that, or you can learn. If you want to be an abstract artist, that's also just practice. Sometimes it seems like people are just flinging paint, and sometimes they are, don't get me wrong. But sometimes There are colors that work together well. There are line work, strokes, textures, values, all those things, even on an abstract work, could come into play to making it whether it speaks to you or not. But when it comes to truly drawing, learning how to draw accurately, all those things can be done. It's just a matter of repetition and continuing to try over and over again for the rest of your life. Because I'm not done. I'm not done learning, and I think that's the spice of life, to be honest with you. All of life is better when you continue to learn. I love it when I can find something I can wrap myself up in and just enjoy it to its fullest. And finally, the fourth principle is patience. You have to have patience. You have to be patient with yourself. You have to not judge yourself. You have to give yourself grace to fail and maybe not to get better maybe as quickly as you want to. You have to be okay with things just taking time, and they will take time. Like I said, I'm still learning at my age, and I'm not a spring chicken anymore, but that's okay with me. I'm perfectly fine with that, and I can be patient with myself. And I think as I've aged, I judge myself less. That's the good thing about aging, I guess, is I judge myself less, and I try to judge others less. And but I definitely give myself grace to realize that I'm okay. I'm better than I think I am. Because even to share on social media, some people might think that my skills are amazing. Some people might not. And that's okay. I'm not trying to put myself in a national museum at this point. I'm just trying to enjoy my creative life, my creative journey, the time I have left on this precious planet with my precious little life. And I just decided to stop listening to what other people had to say about me so much. And I realized I had to start doing some positive self-talk and just encouraging myself on, even if I had to compartmentalize myself, break myself up into, that kind of sounds weird, I know, but I have to think of myself as the child I was, the young adult I was, and the person that I am now, to look at who I have been over time and all the things I've accomplished, all the things I've achieved, the things that I've gotten through, that I've survived, all the difficult moments, the times where I've picked myself up and brushed myself off and moved on with my life and made myself able to be successful, caring, loving, wonderful person that I feel that I've become. And I'm not trying to be like obnoxious or something. I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying I had to start telling this to myself so that I feel better about myself, so that I can be my own best champion. So that's my art chat for today. I hope I didn't ramble too much. I hope that you got something from it. I hope that you found something to inspire you, to propel you forward if you're feeling challenged in drawing. I know some of the comments that I've gotten recently were that people are just starting their art journey, and I know I want you to be brave. Har suisa in Korean? We can do this. Yes, you can. Yes, we all can. We have the ability to do so many things as human beings. And I want to encourage you on that art journey. So with that said, let's jump onto my drawing table and I'll show you my work this past week in my sketchbook, and I'll show you a couple of things. All right, let's go. Let's go. Hey, this is voiceover me popping on really quick. I wanted to show you a sped up version of a leaf that I worked on this past Friday night in my journal. I'm going to be showing you that in a few minutes. I'm actually in the journal when I do the preview, but I thought you might actually like to see one of them in process. Not in slow motion because it took a while to work on this, probably more than I anticipated. I didn't mean to make it look quite so duplicated to the original, and technically it doesn't, but I did get bogged down in the details. So that's kind of what this process looks like in the works. All right, I hope that's helpful. Started off the week doing these bananas. These are the tiny little Spanish bananas that you get in the grocery store. And I realized I'd never done bananas before. And then I did a plum. And first I wasn't too sure about that plum, but it turned out pretty good, I think. I was pretty happy with it. With all the little textures around the side of it. I don't know if you could see it. And then the highlight that I put in and the depth I got with where the stem is, I thought looked pretty good. And then I ended up doing, so this is an Andrew Wyeth scarecrow. So this was the Andrew Wyeth scarecrow that I did a copy of. Right there. And I think it turned out fairly good. This is from his book, The Close Friends, which I think is a really good book because it has a lot of stuff in there that you don't normally see. Like even this cover, it's just amazing. And then this was my own scarecrow from my own reference. And I did try to darken it so it would match the scarecrow a little bit more. Which I actually liked it better than I do because when I took it, it was in daylight, full daylight, and it was more on the bright green spectrum, but it doesn't look very scarecrowish, moody-ish, I don't know. And then I did this scene from my couch. Kind of a lazy day where I wasn't even at my table when I drew this. I drew my pillow. I put my pillow there because sometimes people will do drawings of things like pillows or pieces of cloth that are wrinkled up, and they just draw and paint those. So I just drew my pillow, and I have my book here on the couch, and my throw on the back of the couch was done quickly, and my plant is next to my window. And then the next day I did my planter at my front door. At first I wasn't too happy about it at all. It could use more details. It looks a little bit more on the illustrated spectrum. But all in all, I was okay with it. And I met my goal for the day. And so then today we did this. So that made the week up. Not much to catch you up on, but we're going strong. So I got a request that someone wanted to see a flip through of this Emile Friant book that I referenced. I think this book might have been done due to an exhibit, so I will do my best to try to do because it's fairly lengthy. A lot of the reference stuff in the back. There's drawings and some illustrations that he did, portraits. That one's really beautiful. She's really cute. Lots of portraits of people. A mask of someone who died. This is really lovely. This one's pretty well known when it comes to him. There's one in here that I really love. I love these ones that are like almost like morning types of paintings. Yeah, I really love these paintings here where it looks like they're basically mourning related to death and prayers. Like this one is huge, this painting. I'm sorry there's such a glare, but this painting in real life is massive, and the details on it are just amazing. I wish I could show you this really well. Unfortunately, there's so much glare in here, and that page is so huge. There's a lot of darkness in that painting, and these are like little studies that he did for that piece. Here's another piece that's similar. People going to mourning. So beautiful. Nudes. This is the drawing that I did earlier, a portion of that from my sketchbook. Really beautiful stuff in here. Lots of studies, which it's always nice to see people's work when they're working things out versus just finished pieces. These are nice because these are some of his self-portraits. 87, 1892, 1895, 1920. So as he aged, he was doing a lot of self-portraits, which is really cool. This young man right here. Very, very cool. There is tons of information, that beautiful painting. Now, this is in French. I will tell you that. So, if you are dying to read about Emile Friant, then this is not the book but unfortunately there's not very many books. And I just chose to get it because of his beautiful work. And I have no plans on reading it. So that's Emile Friant. Alright guys, I guess I'll end the video here. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the new followers, the new subscribers. Oh my gosh, my heart is overwhelmed. I can't believe so many people have found our little channel now and are making so many amazing comments, so many kind comments and encouraging words, and I appreciate every one of you. Thank you so much. Alright guys, see you next week. See you soon. Bye. 안녕.